It's show time, y'all. Welcome. Do you even know where you are? Even know where you are? Yeah, my room's falling apart. This is the Solomon Project. This is where you learn where it's not how much you make, or yeah, it's not how much you make. It's how much you keep that counts. I'm gonna have to do an adjustment to my room. Falling apart up here. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So one final attempt, one feeble attempt to get it. I just made it worse. Oh my god, I just made it worse. I just made it worse. Hold on, let me put this camera somewhere. Let's see what I can do about this. About my room. My room. Wait a minute. Can you even hear me? Hold on 1 second. Can you even hear me? All right, let me fix this. Let me fix this right quick. Right quickly. Quickly now. Quickly. This right here. Let's connect this right quick. There it is. Did we connect? That didn't work. Of course, it's discoverable. What is your problem? Maybe this is my problem right here. Maybe. That didn't work either. Well, how about now? How about now? How else is it? Okay. Okay. We gotta do it one more time. Let's try again. There we go. There we go, y'all. There we go, y'all. So what? So what's the dinner? What was the? Okay. Let's go in here. Let's see what we got now. Let's see if we got this. All right. Let's see now. Do, 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 do. Da, 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 da. I'll take it down. Flashlight. Sticks and stones. Yeah. We're going to talk about that. In a hot second. Let me just get my room right. All right. Let's see if the room is right. Somewhat right. What is this? Collapse this thing, man. What is this? Get out of here. Yeah. So maybe if I prop this thing up a little higher, it'll make a huge difference. What do you think? Or if I move further back, that might make a pretty good difference. My room is all crazy. Hey, hey, Professor. Professor, I'm going to tell you a trucking story. Good evening, Professor. Give me 1 second, Professor. I got to reach for my odium. Ah, here we go. Got the odium now. What are you going to say now, Professor? Huh? Got the odium now. Oh, but I'm messing up. What the heck is going on with my room? It's falling apart. I ain't never rep a set, baby. Ain't do no wrong. I could clean up good for you, 'cause I know right from wrong. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Yeah, it's kicking in. Oh, you had the odium? No sugar. That's excellent of you, Professor. You already know the deal. That sugar is that sugar will kill you. Literally. It's killing people. Did you ever check into the rates of cancer and how coincidentally it jumped up disproportionately with the introduction of high fructose corn syrup? Hmm. That high fructose corn liquor. It'll get you. It'll get you. I'm starting to let my hair down with you, Professor. I'm starting to allow myself to be myself. Now you get to see what my parents have been complaining about. Oh, what was that? Oh, something popped up there. I had to hit the cancel button. What? What kind of fruit flavor is that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I sang some secular stuff right there for a hot minute. But I'm gonna tell you something about this song came out of nowhere. All of a sudden it's number one. Yeah, oh, let me put that up so everybody can see that. There was no, there was none of that, huh? No high fructose corn liquor. And but I imagine you can hear me because you're you're responding to what I'm saying. So I guess you can hear me. Odium. What the heck? I gotta lay off the. Yeah. Well, it was around in the 80s. You might not have seen it in that many products. That high fructose corn liquor. Let me reach out to my home slice, my home bake. Where are you, Mr. Dobbs? Where you at, Mr. Dobbs? That ain't it. I gotta find Mr. Dobbs. Let him know. Let him know what's going on. Okay, let me let him know. Mr. Dobbs, we are live. Oh Lord, what did I do? Oh, hey, yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you, Professor. Yeah, he's been out for a while. I was getting a little worried there, but you know, times got difficult. That's understandable. That's understandable. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes, and then we're gonna go right into the. In fact, at the 10-minute mark, I can see it. That's another minute. In one other minute, I'll talk about. First, I'll tell you the story, the trucking story. I know you like that, but I'll give you the trucking story, and then we'll talk about the sticks and stones. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. That's, you know, the wisdom from these people over at Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in the day, Black Wall Street, the wisdom these people could share to those who are willing to listen, because not everybody's willing to listen to wisdom, but the wisdom that these people probably would have to offer to help us navigate through tough economic times. It's probably priceless. Probably. I'm willing to bet that it is priceless. So anybody who comes in right now and you want to bet, let's bet that it was priceless or not. I'm ready. Odium. You see that? My room is going dark. What the heck? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I notified Tony T. I'm waiting for him to come on in. Hopefully he didn't get the hours mixed up because he's in Central Time right now. And I'm on Eastern Time. You're in Pacific Time. But I know what time. I know what time it is over there because Lukey here. I don't know if you can see that, but I got Seattle time there just in case. Yep, just to make sure it's not an inconvenience for you. Yeah, I hope so too. I'm waiting for him to show up. All right, so it's past that 1 minute mark that I said. So I'm gonna give you the story. Here it is, right? Oh wow! Outside of Seattle, what? You're Asian time. You're right in the ocean. Is that what it is? Oh, 1 hour north, you'd be in Vancouver, I would imagine. Where you at? You're in the ocean. You live in the Pacific Ocean, huh, Professor? That's crazy. What's it like out there? Is it wavy? Is there a lot of waves? Oh, okay. You're out on the peninsula. I get it. I got it. I thought you were out in the ocean. Am I still breaking up, or am I okay? Am I okay? I don't know if I'm okay, but am I okay? Am I still freezing up? I'm too close to the North Pole. That's why I'm freezing up. Oh, okay. Thanks. I tried to convince my parents that I was okay too, but they wouldn't listen. Check this out, Tara. Let me give you the breakdown. Tuesday morning, I go to pick up a load. 3 stops, 5 pallets. It's nothing. It doesn't weigh anything. It's a little, yeah. It's a little past New Orleans, right? A little past New Orleans, west of New Orleans. Okay? West of New Orleans. I want to say it's about 15, 20 minutes past New Orleans going west. So it's a 3-stopper. Now, all 3 stops are for the same company. It's a food distributor. And food distributors can be really funky with their appointment times. First stop, South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, for Tuesday delivery. Yeah, I got a refrigerated trailer. So it's for a Tuesday delivery. So I picked it up Monday. So for a Tuesday delivery, Columbia, South Carolina, South Kakalaki. Second delivery was for the following day, Wednesday, in Philadelphia, PA. Okay. Friday, because Thursday's a holiday, everybody's off. Like me, I'm way off. Friday delivery. So here was the plan. Delivery 1, Tuesday. Delivery 2, Wednesday. Head toward Massachusetts. Stop off at my crib. Go see the kids. You've seen some of them on the little shorts that I put up. And then spend the day with them and then go Friday deliver, and then the weekend back with the family. Right? That was the plan. So first stop Tuesday, 2 pallets. We can't do nothing for you. Your appointment was for such time. Finally, look who just got. Look who arrived. Look who arrived. Look who arrived. Look who arrived. Let me put up the thing. Let me put up the thing. Here we go. All right, so I go and he says, listen, your appointment was for 11 o'clock. You're late. You're going to have to reschedule. All right, for what? For tonight? No, for tomorrow. What? But there's a delivery tomorrow in Philly. Tony T, what's going on, man?
Taxation is death.
Good for you, bro. Good for you. That's wonderful. Did you hear that? Did you hear the story so far?
I heard some of it that you was caught up, that they messed up your plan on being home. But
They messed up
that's
my plan,
trucking,
bro.
baby.
So
That's trucking. That's trucking, baby. That's trucking.
that's
I know
trucking. There you go.
that's gonna happen no
Yes,
matter
they
what
do.
because
Yes, they do. And that's just one story. Let me tell you another one, Tara. Okay. I
ooh,
had a
let's hear it.
load. I had a load that went down to Sarasota, Florida. See that? You're on the same
Yup,
page.
yup.
So
Sarasota.
go down to Sarasota. Delivery for Thursday morning at 3 a.m. I arrive at the guard shack Thursday morning at 2:35 a.m. I'm familiar with the company. I worked for them one time, and I know what they're like when it comes to delivery appointments. I'm right within the window, right within the sweet spot. So I'm there at 2:35 when the delivery's for 3. Perfect. Guard shack calls in to the warehouse, lets them know that I am there, ready to deliver. They say no. What? No. So Guard shack writes on the paperwork on the bill of lading that I arrived at such an hour, such a date, and told me that the warehouse said, come back tomorrow. Tomorrow's your delivery. So fine. So we got back tomorrow. I happen to have a partner at the time. He goes to the guard shack, does the same old thing. They give him a door. He backs up into the door. Then he wakes me up and says, listen, they're not unloading us unless you pay the fee for being late.
What?
And I said, what? Wait a minute. What are you talking about? Yeah, they said that we have to pay for making a new appointment for now because we were supposed to be here yesterday. I said, come on, man, stop clowning, man. You serious? So I'm dead serious, man. That's what they said. They said we were supposed to be here last night. Hold on a second. Did you show them the bill of lading? Did you show them that the guards actually put the time and the date on the I told them everything, man. They said no. What do you mean they said no? So I have to go in the warehouse and see, this is where you got to be careful because I'm livid right now. I'm mad. And I'll explain why I'm angry. I'm angry like you wouldn't believe. And I go in the warehouse. I'm controlling myself. There's a new girl behind the window. She's new to the game, new to the business, new to the job. Excuse me. It says here, my partner's telling me we got to pay a late fee. It says, yeah, you got to pay a late fee. You were supposed to be here yesterday. Okay. Did you read? Hold on one second. Answers the phone. Then she runs back. Then she runs sideways. Then she runs in circles. Then she goes, grabs her hamster wheel and hops on it. and starts running on her hamster wheel. Then finally comes back to me and says, "Listen, sir, I don't know what to tell you. No, don't tell me anything other than why I'm being given a late fee when the paperwork shows that I was here on time yesterday when you thought I was supposed to be here and you guys kicked me out." "Oh, so no, I can't do this right now, sir. I'm new and blah 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 blah." Okay, get me a supervisor, please. Supervisor come, and he runs down some crazy excuse. I don't even remember what the excuse was. "Sir, you were supposed to be here yesterday." Okay, so now I'm about to get rude. Now I'm about to get offensive. All right, I'm putting my authority in jeopardy because of my anger. Okay, because he can send a message to the FMCSA and get me wrapped up in some serious trouble. But at this point in time, my anger, and everybody needs to control their anger. Listen. Yeah. And so I'm telling these people, listen, okay, the paperwork, there's writing on the paperwork. It was written by a human being other than myself. It wasn't myself or my partner. And it's very easy for you to verify who wrote that, because I could tell you when. And I need you, so you understand, Tara, you understand. I need you to understand that I did what I was supposed to do, but now you're punishing me when you're the one that prompted this whole thing of me coming back the next day. I had nothing to do with that, sir. No, there's no sir. Why do I have to pay this fee? Now I'm getting aggravated. Now, I guess I'm thanking God that there's a barrier between us. I'm not a tough guy, but I do get angry. And sometimes, yeah. And so we wound up having to pay. Now, here's the problem, right? We're talking about.
Did they see the bill of lading, and did they took the guy?
They saw the bill of lading, and he still kept on with the same nonsense. That's what was pissing me off. I'm being punished for following their instructions. So that's pissing me off. And that's not the only thing. Had I delivered Thursday morning, I could have picked up a load on Friday. That's $2,000. Okay? But I didn't pick up a load on Friday because now I had to come back Friday night. So that's a loss of $2,000 right there. Then they couldn't find a load because I'm in Florida, and in Florida you can't find a load, not even a decent load. You already know Florida has that nasty habit of paying $1.10 a mile, $1.15 a mile, 90 cents a mile, 80 cents a mile. So I'm pissed. They can't find a load. $2,000 for Friday, $2,000 for Saturday, Sunday. That's $6,000 lost right off the rip. Right off the rip. Yeah, Professor, you know what? Yeah, I'm not a church boy. I'm not. And even though I'm not a tough guy and I'm not into that stuff, sometimes I get carried away. Sometimes. My apologies to the world. Yeah. So, hey, Professor, you can't complain. I gave you 2 stories. You got 2 for the price of 1 this time. 2 stories for the price of 1. All right, sticks and stones. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. That is a lie. And whoever came up with that lie, they needed to beat them down with sticks and stones, okay? They needed to beat him down. Whoever came up with that phrase, man, listen, got that right. We got Tony T today. That's right. See, you got two stories, two trucking stories, and Tony T. All right. So let's go now. Words will never harm me. Words will never harm me. That is not nonsense. Because how does a person's reputation get destroyed? With words. Yeah, you can have pictures and all that other stuff, but primarily with words. When people start going around lying about you, lying that you're doing this, that, and the third. And then the terrible part is that when people approach you, they don't even do a good job of trying to verify whether what was said was true or not. They just run with it. That's what happened with my father, I imagine, because I don't know the full scoop as to why he went and set up a coup.
They set up a coup. Coup.
Yeah. Yes. They bear false witness. How do you bear false witness? With words. So that sticks and stone stuff. Yeah, Tony's Wi-Fi is crazy. But yeah, Professor, people don't bother to verify. People just run with things sometimes. They don't. After the damage is done, then they ask, bro, you're too late. Don't ask now. You did harm without doing the homework. He's back.
The phone is acting up. The phone is acting.
Fear not, Professor.
Yeah, so.
Back. So that's not. Yeah, and trucking, forget it. Trucking. I was explaining that to a friend of mine. He lives in Spain. He works in a warehouse, and he was asking me questions about logistics. I didn't get too deep into that because then I would have to get into supply chain, and that's an entire year in college. So we're not doing that. But the bottom line is this: when it comes to logistics, the world can get very complicated. As I explained to him, I let him know, listen, so a business, if you own a business and the business caters to your locality, right? Your town, your city, whatever it is, that has its complications. But when you go from your locality and it becomes state, it gets even more complicated. When you go from state to national, even more complicated. When you go international, forget it. There's so many things that have to be taken into consideration. People have no clue. I'm telling you right now, people have no clue. And when people hear that you own a business, it could be a small business. That's it. The hands start coming out. Help me. It's like that movie, The Fly. Did you ever see the movie, The Fly? Where the guy's head was on the fly. You hear that little head going, help me. Don't let him eat me. No. That's how they are. They find out you got a business. Help me. That's all you hear. They'll leave messages on your phone. Help me. What? Nah, man, it ain't like that. There's a cost of operation. Listen, when you have a business, you have operational costs. But your people, your family, your friends, your co-workers, whoever, oh, you got a business? Oh, Professor, you got a business. By the way, I got a list of gifts that you can just go online and purchase us, What? Yeah. Look, when you have a business, you got to put money aside in the event of
an emergency.
Now, in the trucking business, you got a lot of knuckleheads because there's really no qualifying anything to enter into this as a business. You just purchase your own truck and you could lease onto a company, which is the fastest and the cheapest, or you can establish your own authority,
which is very,
and in
it's a
which
headache.
case, yeah, it's a headache. But you can hire a company to take care of certain things, administrative things, so that you can concentrate on finding loads and even yeah, no, there's no background check. There's no background check. Well,
Uh,
somewhat,
wait, wait,
somewhat.
wait. There is some background check. Yeah, there is. Remember the one that when you're carrying hazmat, or if you're gonna do
Okay, yeah, if you're carrying
containers,
hazmat, yeah.
they actually in the FMCSA they, when you say when you're gonna get your your DOT number and you say you're gonna be hauling hazmat and container, woo, they're gonna ask you several questions, and
No, forget about the questions. You got to do a background check.
you gotta submit those forms.
Forms, you got to get fingerprinted, and you got to do. They do a background check.
Yeah. So yeah, for that,
Yeah.
yeah, and even for for containers, also you have to do. Which this is where it gets really tricky. Why is it these brokers have so many container and hazmat load, and they probably haven't even fucking gotten a background check? Oops, sorry, I said the F word. Boop.
Yeah, we got 6-year-old subscribers.
Yeah. So yeah, how is that they have so many access to these sensitive loads, and they're paying so cheap?
Well, I'm not sure what type of MC they have to have in order to post hazardous loads. I'm not sure. It would. I guess I think it would be important for them to know how to screen the carriers. But then again, if you're a carrier, if you have hazmat, the hazmat I don't know. Can I lie to a broker and say, "Oh yeah, I'm hazmat endorsed"? No, not if you have your own authority. If you have your own authority and you're hazmat endorsed, you have to that they have access to that, and they it'll be on your safer.
That's the thing. I've seen some spot market when you put hazmat. And they insane.
Tony, what are you doing, bro?
What?
You bugging. You went out and then you came back in.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm not
Right?
in.
You're in. But keep telling us.
Yeah, like I see these in the low board. Sometimes, well, the DAT is getting to the point. I think DAT is gonna get hammered by the FMCSA because there's a lot of people double brokering in there. So, but yeah, I saw some loads that said hazmat, and when I saw the price on the rate, I'm like, no, are they insane? And then especially the ones that are more dangerous, though, the explosive one, the 1 and 2, 1.2, 1.3 explosive. Ooh, those are bad. And I've seen some of those in the DAT low bore.
I had my hazmat endorsement before when my license was from another state. When I moved down to Florida, they eliminated it. I would have to take the test all over again when I didn't feel like taking the test all over again because that was more money. And then every year or so, whatever it is. Well, no, in Florida, whenever you renew your license, then you have to go through the process all over again, which is fine. I can deal with that.
They if you renew it, they ask you want to have hazmat endorsed or not, and then you say no or yeah. If you want to
no, they told me when I changed it, they told me I had to take the test all over again.
Oh yeah, they probably did. Yeah.
Yeah.
That for sure. Yeah.
I didn't want to do that.
But it's easier
because
I think it's the easiest place to do it. New York is like archaic. You know that the DOT in New York, the Department of Motor Vehicle in New York, is so archaic. They're so fucking old. Oh, again, here I said F. They're so
6-year-olds.
They're so old that when I moved to Florida, I was like, damn, you guys are like way ahead of freaking New York.
Like crispy wheat and raisins. Check this out, though. You know, they almost didn't give me my endorsement, man.
Which one? They gave they passed my tankers and
my hazmat. No, I got the tank. I got everything else, but you know, but I had to get the what do you call that? Huh?
The test for the hazmat,
No, no, no. I had to go get that other
the twig.
the twig, man. So I guess they asked me some what I would be hauling, and I
Yeah,
said, yeah, I'm gonna be hauling ass. They didn't find that funny at all. They I almost didn't get it.
yeah, the
They have
twig
no
part.
sense of humor. That was kind of crazy.
And the
But
funny
then
thing is that
again,
I heard that
maybe it's just me.
if I heard if you have the twig card inside your license, uh, you could go to the airport. You could pass the TSA and get
Yeah,
on the red line.
yeah, yeah, yeah. With that Twig card, forget it. With that Twig card, I can get into a naval base. I can operate submarines.
With that twig card, I want to find that guy that messed up the last your last channel.
Oh yeah, man. That was that was really terrible.
It was I didn't see it because I was outside. But when you told me what happened, I saw your face in the video.
Right, because you was outside the truck when it was going down, right?
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't in the truck. I forward to see what happened, and I was like, "What is that? Is that a troll?" And he was like, "That was a mega troll." And then you explained to me what happened after the live, and I was like, "Oh hell!" And I was like,
Oh,
"Man, that sounds
I don't
that
even
was
know.
bad."
I didn't even know if the professor wanted that to be known like that. Um, yeah, well, yeah, I did deliver to that base in in Connecticut there, New London. I
Yeah,
delivered there. I was on the Marine what's that, Paris Island. I had to go in there and deliver some stuff
oh, in
while those kids were
North
training.
Carolina, North Carolina. Is it North Carolina or
Yeah,
South Carolina?
yeah.
I know it's in the
I think it's
Carolinas.
North Carolina. Is it Camp Lejeune? What is it?
No, Paris Island.
Camp something.
It's the boot
It's
camp
Paris
for the
Island.
Marines.
I was at the boot camp. Yeah, I was at Paris Island, chilling. I was chilling out,
Yeah.
flexing,
Did
letting
you
all the
meet
recruits know.
Did you meet Emery there?
Who?
Who's the little twinkle toe that signed his death warrant?
Oh, I try to come off like that. I try to pull rank.
Nobody. I'll PT you to your.
Till your buttholes are sucking buttermilk. That
Oh my god,
guy was crazy,
that
man.
movie was funny though. But yeah, no man, current event. Did you see the videos that I sent you of the news? I think I sent you a couple. I can't go back up because if I try to go back, it will I will get disconnected, or I don't know. It's just acting up with this. I can't just close out. But
Don't get
I
disconnected, bro.
sent you some current events. Uh, the whole thing about with Powell being in Europe
Yeah.
and talking to Lagarde from the IMF, International Monetary Fund.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just surprised. It was an article talking about how Europe has a much better inflation. They're doing much better than us, but yet, okay, they had one interest rate cut. Oh no, increase. No, they didn't have another increase. We had another increase, and then that was it. Before the year end of 2023, I think it was. We had one more increase, right? I think it was, or we
Mm-hmm.
didn't. I can't remember. But when Spain was supposed to, no, I think it was Spain that was supposed to increase. Yeah, Spain. Remember, I was at that time telling you, Spain. This guy from the Central Bank of European Bank, or the European Central Bank, um, he just raised 0.25, so that means that we're gonna have 0.25. But Powell never went. He stopped right there. So I'm guessing that when he met up this time, I don't know if he was wondering if he was to put another increase, another 0.25, but at the end, I guess they're gonna have to start cutting the interest rate,
Yeah, they're gonna start cutting.
because if they don't cut the interest rate, a lot of things falling apart. One of them was the credit cards that we were always talking about, how the debt, the national debt or the debt, one of the biggest bubble that could be is the credit card um, side of banking or something like that. And then the other one was businesses will start to have issues, and it's already showing its signs. Most of them is that is suffering very bad is the automobile industry. The automobile industry is taking a hit. Stellantis is the Stellantis group, which is Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge. No, it's the Italian with the Italian one. Alfa Romeo and this it's Stellantis. Jeep, I think it's Jeep. No, it's not Chrysler. Jeep, Dodge, and Fiat. I don't know. It's a group. They're having issues in sales. Stellantis had a loss of 24%. That's big in this past quarter. And sales on American cars are in decline. Supposedly Dodge did a little bit better, but they're trying to put some more incentive that they're, $2,000 rebate. I don't know what it is. We got to sell cars. There's a lot more cars than humans, and they're making too many cars. You look at the lots, trucks, cars. I passed the other day on the Volvo one that you said. Is it on 85 you're talking about? The factory? Volvo factory?
Mm-hmm.
Is it that one?
Which one did you say?
No, it's in Virginia, you said. The Volvo.
Right.
It's in Virginia. Well, the Volvo and Mac on 85 that I saw, they ain't selling nothing. They're going to be there till next year. They probably collect dust and rust because they ain't selling. Nobody's buying.
Well,
And then, you know what's pissing me off? I don't know if you get the same call. I get these calls all the time saying, "Oh, we could help you with your credit, your debt, this and that." I don't know if you're getting these calls. These the that we will help you with debt problems, whatever it is.
no, I don't get those calls.
Yeah, well, I get them all the time. What else? What else? I don't know. The market spiked up yesterday before closing, which was like around 1 o'clock. The market closed very early yesterday.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
Well, tell you what.
I
Let me
did
go ahead
send
and
you some current events of that
let
meeting
me.
with Jerome Powell.
Yeah.
That to me is more important than the freaking elections. The elections already is garbage. You could take it, open the faucet, or maybe flush it down the toilet. Whatever politicians are floating in that toilet bowl, just flush it. It's done. You know,
Right.
flush it down the
Right.
drain. As to the stock, man, I don't know. I mean, I hope he does start bringing down the interest rate, because that way the small cap companies will start getting some loans, and maybe, I don't know, start investing in the companies, and maybe the stock will have some growth in those small cap and mid cap market. Because the only ones that are doing well is like what you said, the big sevens. That's it.
In the stock market, in the S&P 500, yeah, the 7
Yeah.
companies. Yeah. So this is a capitalist country,
Well,
and
I don't
And
agree. I don't. Yeah, it could be capitalist, but I don't agree with the power of abuse.
well, when you say the power of abuse, abuse exists in all countries, in all governments.
Well, we had this conversation about the other day that I was very happy to hear what Biden did and Bernie. They got together and they said, "Listen, let's go after Big Pharma."
Right.
That gave me some hope. But like I said, what I said to you about power, um,
About who?
remember what I told you about the medical insurance or insurance
Yeah.
companies in general have more power
Hmm.
than the banks, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Machiavelli, Niccolo Machiavelli, the prince, goes into detail about this. What do you know? You guys know anything about the prince?
Something I know something about Machiavelli. Yeah, I read about it, not too much.
DeAndre, you familiar with Machiavelli? Machiavelli, the prince. It's a story about real characters.
I heard of the name, but I'm not familiar.
Let me give you a quick breakdown. This was during the, I don't know what hundreds. Maybe the professor knows it. She'll tell us. But Machiavelli, who was Cesare Borgia, okay, don't forget that Cesare Borgia was the person that posed for the picture that Michelangelo drew.
Oh yeah,
That was the white Jesus that we all know today, and it was done for the sole purpose of being able to separate psychologically the Christian believers from the invading force from the Arabian Peninsula, who were people of color, who Jesus happened to be a person of color, but they didn't want the European population to have that sympathy for these invaders. Machiavelli was a power man in Renaissance Italy. Yep. He wrote the book The Prince about abuse of power. Yes. Machiavelli killed his half brother to usurp power. Very interesting. What would that make Machiavelli? A transactional individual. I'm always talking about transactional individuals. Here in the United States,
we
because
got
we're a
plenty of them.
capitalist, because we're a capitalist nation, it's that behavior is applauded. It's applauded. Here we go. The photo of Jesus is also said to be Cesare. Yeah, Cesare Borgia, the son of Rodrigo Borgia, also known as Pope Alexander the Sixth. Yeah, the son of a pope. Go figure. What happened to celibacy? Guess not then. Yeah,
Yeah,
son of a pope, son of a gun, and they're all related to the Medici family. Very interestingly, the birthplace of the modern day banking system. The word bank comes from the Italian word banco, Cesare.
Banco Cesare.
Cesare. So, right, because a single C, yeah. Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, Cesare
So,
is yeah like
so the
Caesar.
Medici family, some members of the Medici family were killed for trying to lend money and charging interest, which was not allowed by the Roman Catholic Church. Roman Catholic Church, not the Catholic Church. There is a distinction. The Catholic Church is the universal church. The Roman Catholic Church is what was created by Emperor Constantine in the
Constantino.
300s. Yeah, the Medicis were dirty. So again, a pope intervened. So the word bank comes from the word banco, which means bench, where you sit. And that's exactly where the Jews used to lend money. They were confined to a certain area in Venice. They couldn't really move around. Right. Well, they were related. And so the Jews used to lend money, and no shame in their game, they used to charge interest. But one of the popes related to the Medicis decided that they were going to play on some words. Okay. Game of semantics. Oh, yeah. Especially the royal families. They're all related. So there was a play on words, a game of semantics. Yes, the Roman Catholic Church is going to lend money, but our cousins through one of their first colonists named William Hinckley, look at that. They're related. So if they hug each other when they meet and said, "What's up, brother?" They're not lying. So now we're going to lend money, but we're not going to do this wicked, evil interest rate charge. We're not going to charge interest because that's wicked and evil. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to lend money and we're going to charge a fee. Okay, we're going to charge a fee. That's not interest. It's a fee. That's different. So it's okay. So D, go get yourself a loan from the Roman Catholic Church.
No.
And don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because it's a fee.
It's a fee.
It's not interest.
They hide the word interest by using the word. It's a fee.
They replace it. They don't even hide. They replace it altogether. And yeah, oh yeah, this is way better. And guess what? The fee can change year after year. Oh, it was $100. Oh, yeah. Oh man, for some reason, the fee should be $200 this year. So you still owe, and we need that fee this year, that $200 fee. The money game stepped up with Mayor Armschold. Oh yeah, the Rothschilds. Yeah, the Rothschilds and Rothschild in German means red shield. The Rothschilds were Jews, and they were a few brothers, and they were in different countries doing what they do best, lending money. But they charged interest. They weren't charging a fee. They were Jewish. They didn't have to charge a fee. Yeah. Ain't that interesting? I think it's 7 brothers or something like that. They were all over the place. They were in the United Kingdom. They were in Germany. They were in France. They were in Russia. In fact, one of the Rothschilds teamed up with who that is. Mayor, the father, spread his five sons to the 5 influential cities in Europe. There it is. Thank you, Professor. Thank you for coming to back me up and get me right. Get it straight. Get the info straight, y'all. It was 5 brothers, not 7. D.
Sir.
D, get it right. It was 5, not 7. Okay, in the UK, the Rothschilds are richer than the royal family, along with the Westminsters. Yeah, and I think it was which of the Rothschilds teamed up with one of the royal families. It was either the UK or the Netherlands in the oil industry. Royal Dutch Shell out of the Netherlands, or British Petroleum from the United Kingdom, or was it Kazakhstan Which one of the brothers was it? Okay, not the Westminsters, the Grosvenors. Okay,
I don't know, but Westminster.
yeah. So it was the Grosvenors. Got it. By the way, guys, in case you didn't know, that's the professor's degree is from history, but I think more so American history than. But it don't matter because she does her homework anyway. She be reading, okay? Not like me. I don't read.
You gotta read, man.
I guess I do.
Look at my logo. Taxation is theft.
I know. I know how to read that. Hugh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We got some history coming down, y'all. Hugh Grosvenor, the current Duke of Westminster, got married a few weeks ago. He's under 40 years old. Oh, damn. Uh-oh. Professor's getting on my case now. I got to read. Yo, D, are you reading?
Am I reading?
Not this. Reading books.
I ain't read. Listen, honestly, I
Let me
ain't
tell you
read no.
something.
I ain't
Let me-
read no book, and I don't know when.
Professor, let me tell you something. The Art of War
Oh,
is
Art
the
of War.
number one book read in prison,
Yep.
and they use it. They use it. Many gangs make that mandatory reading for their gang members. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. And they use it all the time.
Yep.
Yo, T. But let me tell you something. I never read The Art of War. I was never interested in reading The Art of War. I know it's a party favorite, but when it comes to human relations and warfare and stuff like that, I like to. I keep it within. I keep it within scripture.
Mm-hmm. Got you.
I read a lot of scripture when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, but it's crazy. It's funny that the Art of War. I read that book. When was it? I was in my late 20s, maybe. But the book that I want to find, and I don't know if they still publish it, but this was when I was living in Dominican Republic, and my English teacher, which I didn't need to take English because I already knew English, so he gave us the chance to make a book report. So he said, pick a book and make me a report. Well, one of the books that I picked was because I saw the cover of it, and it was the United States. The bald eagle was the United States, the entire bird, and the claws that it was grabbing was South America.
What was the name of the book? You remember the title?
I remember it, man. It was something that has to do with something with economy. It was corporations and something in the hands of evil, something like, I can't remember. It was a weird book, and when I started reading it, it was very bored, very lame. But in the end, it started to talk about coups, and this is why I say that I started getting involved about the IMF and corporations and investing. This is when me and you sometimes we don't agree and disagree when we have these conversations. But that book made me clear.
What? We have disagreements? What?
So like, yeah. So like this book really caught my attention because it was all about foreign policies of the United States, starting with the United Fruit Company, or is it like that? It's called
Yeah, I think it's called the United Fruit Company. Yep.
the United Fruit Company. What else? It was all these corporations, Domino's, Sugar, lots of corporation.
I
But the
think
thing,
the sugar came from that company.
yeah, the thing is that they're that after reading that book, I made the report, and my professor was like, "Oh shit!" He didn't give me a good grade, but he was like, you caught onto it, but I'm not gonna give you a good grade. I'll give you a C. I'll give you a passing grade, but you did an interesting point, which is not part of the book, but that's an interesting point that you see it that way, and it was talking about all the foreign policies, coups, wars. It even had the Dominican Republic involvement when the Marines landed in 1965, which it said that there was um, a transition in government when Trujillo died or they killed him, whatever it was. American interests started to come in. The Banana Massacre. What is this? Britannica. Maybe if we put in Google book cover that has the American bald eagle with the United States flag over, like on top of the eagle. It was part of the eagle with the wings spread out. And it had its claws latched onto the.
If I find it here,
Oh, what was that? Maybe you can find it there. I don't know. Yeah, United Fruit Company. Yeah,
look for it here.
but
Well, that I have.
it also spoke about war, of all the conflicts that the United States has been involved, from Vietnam to Dominican Republic to Chile to a lot of the dictatorships that we had around the world during the 80s. And maybe this book was a propaganda book against, like, I felt it pushed me into being more, I wouldn't say communist, more of a socialist way of thinking.
Who had the
And
socialist way of thinking?
this book, because the thing is, it was accusing the United States of intervening and creating coups in this country. One of them was very mentioned was Chile, and the interest that they have for Chile was in the mining. Mining is very big in South America with companies from the United States, Canada, and Western European countries like Spain, Germany, etc., etc.
So the professor said I studied that in college and still have some books. Oh, she still have some of those books. The way that they passed up El Salvador and Nicaragua is beyond evil. Okay, let's not with the banana plantations. Let's not.
No, it's not.
Okay. Ah, there goes that name Trujillo. Yes, Trujillo was all in the mix. I'm gonna break it down right now about Trujillo. Reagan was a dirty bird with what happened in El Mozote.
Yep.
Okay, and people have to be careful with the Chiquita girl commercials as well. Ah, so the American Fruit Company changed its name to Chiquita. So Chiquita is the American Fruit Company. El Mozote was the 1980s.
1980s.
Here you go.
I was gonna say that when she mentioned.
Yeah, but the professor said it first.
Yeah, I lived through it.
Okay, so here, this is for D. D, you ready for this? We'll break it down right now. So Dominican Republic, where Tony T and I are from, well, not born there, but our families are from there. And we had a dictator named Rafael Leonidas Trujillo Molina. After I finish telling you this, I'm going to ask you the name again. So I want you to repeat that whole name all over again. Okay, D?
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you didn't know, girl? Girl, you didn't know? Yeah, he's Dominican too.
Yeah.
So the Dominican Republic is in the Caribbean. The Caribbean, out of all the Caribbean islands, Puerto Rico was considered the most important
And
for
Cuba.
military purposes. For
And Cuba.
military purpose, not Cuba, not so much for military purpose, but Puerto Rico for military purposes because it was the one farthest out east and
Yeah.
north, so that any invading nation from Europe, well, they could be addressed right from there, from as a starting point. Don't do that, Sam. Don't do what? Okay, I won't do it. I won't do it, Professor. But I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. In any event, so Dominican Republic, right around the time of the president prior to Trujillo. Oh, I shouldn't say that name. Make him say that name. Okay. I'm not sure what name that was, but whoever said it, don't say it. Oh, that name? I hope it's not that name. All right, I won't say it again. Oh, make him. Oh, okay, make D say the name. Okay, I got it. Right. Well, that was a joke,
Don't clock me if I
Professor.
get it wrong, because I ain't good with pronouncing.
Nobody's gonna remember that if they speak English. Even if they speak
He said
Spanish, they're not gonna remember that whole name.
Is it?
All right.
Is it?
So, huh?
Is it?
Wow,
Raphael
you almost got it. You missed it by one letter.
Raphael something.
Rafael.
Raphael something.
Yeah,
Raphael.
it's crazy. All right. Okay, terrible sense of humor there, Professor. But sometimes
I tried. I didn't
no, you did a good job. You did a good job. But let me tell you, D.
I didn't mean no disrespect.
No, let me tell you something. There are people that would be very happy that you disrespected his name. Let me tell you. But in my case, sometimes when I go to a location and they ask me for my name, I hit them with this ridiculously long name, Leonel Ramirez Gonzalez Sanchez Núñez Valdez. Right. Who the hell is going to remember all that? So that whoever I'm telling that name, they just cut it short, say, okay, no, this is going to be your name. We say, all right, let's work with that. But that's where the joke came from. All right, bad joke. All right, sorry.
Wait, yours is your name is Leo Gonzalez, correct?
Leo Ramirez Gonzalez, yep.
Wait.
All the world knows it's not Richard Burns. Look out.
You got two different personalities, it seems like.
Yeah. I got more than two. I got a bunch of personalities. Here we go.
Well, all I know is Leo Gonzalez. If I got it wrong, my bad.
No. You're good. You're good. Well, okay. So Tony T fell off. Must be the Wi-Fi. But going back to so prior to Trujillo, we're gonna cut it short. By the way. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Professor. I am Richard Burns.
That's what I know you as. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's I could tell you the history behind that, but before I ever do, I'll continue as Richard Burns here talking about Trujillo. Before Trujillo got into power, Horacio Vasquez was the president at the time, but there were a lot of the country was unstable, and the United States always protects its corporations. So the American Fruit Company set up shop in the Dominican Republic, and stability is very important. Here comes the U.S. military, the U.S. Marine Corps. They go into the Dominican Republic to stabilize things. And when they stabilize things, they help put Trujillo in power. Horacio Vasquez, I don't know what happened. I think he got sick. Something happened. Trujillo betrayed him and took control, took power, and changed the Constitution. Here we go again. Established a dictatorship. Created monuments so that visually things look like they were progressing. However, you couldn't just express a dissatisfaction or a critique of the government of any kind because you would disappear. And whatever happened to you would not be reported because it wasn't allowed. You only reported what Trujillo wanted to be reported. That's it. And everything, as far as the press was concerned, anything reported by the press, everything that Trujillo did was beautiful, was the best, and people loved it. Everybody. And anyone who criticized Trujillo was wrong, and they better pray that they weren't on the island. And if they weren't on the island, they better pray that Trujillo didn't send somebody after them somewhere else like he had a habit of doing. And the press would justify everything he did. That's what a dictatorship is. Now, why aren't dictators considered kings? We can get into that later. But for now, the United States government helped to put Trujillo in power. Okay, so why is Trujillo okay? Because he didn't allow anything to happen to the American corporations that were there. And not only that, the U.S. government was taking in the money that was raised through customs. Trujillo kept his mouth shut, and Trujillo was allowed to do whatever the heck he wanted to his population. Whatever he wanted. He killed something like 32,000 Haitians because they were the wrong color. How you like them apples?
Mm-hmm.
And everything was good. Everything was justified. The American government didn't say a thing. How's the American Fruit Company doing? Oh, okay. No, you're good, Trujillo. Don't worry about it. When things started going sour for Trujillo was after he grew a pair and started saying something against the U.S. government because he paid off the national debt. The Dominican peso was worth more than the American dollar by 2 pennies. And now Trujillo's saying, well, you know, you guys ate plenty. So I think it's time for Dominicans to start eating also. That's code for I want to eat. Ain't got nothing to do with the people. I want to eat. Once he started doing that, the conversation changed. What are you saying, Trujillo? Are you okay? No, I'm fine. I'm just saying, you know, maybe it's our turn now. Your turn. Your turn for what? Huh? Oh, you forgot we put you there. You forgot we looked away when you performed your atrocities against your people. And then Trujillo started getting tough. Started talking back like he was tough. So what did the U.S. do? Same thing the U.S. government always does. Launches a campaign to smear Trujillo, to smear Trujillo's reputation. And yes, Professor, the underage girls. Trujillo had a taste for underage girls. So D, I'll break it down this way. Let's say you had a 12-year-old daughter that was a little overdeveloped for a 12-year-old, just a little. But some captain of the police said, oh man, I could become major if I just take DeAndre's daughter over to Trujillo so he can have fun with her, I'm pretty sure he'll raise my rank to major. And they will come knocking on your and they will come knocking on your door and tell you, DeAndre, we need your daughter. And you could protest. You're free to protest. You're not going to be alive much longer after you do that, but yeah, you can tell them no.
My thing, listen, my thing with this situation, if it ever came to that, I will protest and I will say no. And then if I'm like unalive or this and that, just know I will become a spirit and I will hunt every single one of them down.
There's a lot of spirits out there. There's a lot of spirits in Dominican Republic hunting a lot of people.
I wouldn't let that. I wouldn't let that happen. I wouldn't stand for that. I wouldn't stand for it one bit because number one, that's nasty.
Yeah, well, guess what? Everybody knew. You said no. Hopefully, you had a good plot of land to get buried in, because that's where you were going. That's a dictatorship. That's what a dictatorship is all about. And people don't understand that. People here in this country are begging for one. And they have no clue. They have no clue what they're asking for. It's like they say, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it. And there's some people that say, no, that can't happen. Well, look at recent history. Look at the changes that were made. Look at what the Supreme Court did. The Supreme Court has now converted President Biden into a king, into a dictator. Yeah. They want to be controlled in the strangest way. This is supposed to be land of the free, and people want to give up their freedom. They just want to give it up. Now, if we talk about, let's talk about abortion, for example. Listen, I don't believe in abortion, but I have the freedom to choose that. There are some people that are willing to abort. If they're willing to abort, well, that doesn't impact me personally. It's not my child they're aborting.
And the thing, if I may say something on that, I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm just gonna say this. If I may say this one thing.
Sure.
Since you brought it up. Abortion, abortion is, some people believe in it and some people don't. It's wrong. I will say this. It's wrong, but at the same time, it's like it's what the woman wants to do with her child. It's her body.
It's a freedom.
It's a
freedom.
Like, in her decision.
And her having that freedom doesn't impact me.
Me either, because I'm not planning on having any young ones anytime soon. So, but at the same time, it's like, a bunch of people don't know, but certain women that get pregnant, it's like a lot of them can't carry their babies to full term, and they will become in a situation where it's either they go or or the child goes. And it's like if they choose one or the other, it's like, I don't know, is it called selfish or a hard decision of this and that? I don't believe well in abortion, but it's what they person want. I can't tell nobody what to do to their body, and they want to keep it the baby, they can keep it. But if they want to get rid of it, get an abortion, well, my thing is this: it's their decision. It does not have anything to do with me. It's not none of my blood in there, so I can't.
So yeah, so the professor just mentioned that um, she had, when she was younger, she had 2 abortions, and she feels bad about it. Okay, she says here, if I went back in time, I would have never done it. She has nightmares because she's done it, and I sympathize with her 100%.
Like she having regrets of doing it.
Absolutely, she does. And listen, I don't know if you know anybody who has had somebody close to you that has had an abortion. I do know, and I know that and apart from that, what you're just saying now, Professor, even though there's still an emotion that comes over the women that have the abortion. There's a sadness, a deep sadness that comes over the ones that I know that did it, because I was in their lives at the moment that they did it, talking about some coworkers and stuff like that, and they were very sad after having it done. And I can understand that. I really don't remember what type of relationships they had with the partner that they had gotten pregnant with. I know that me personally, I left that decision up to my spouse, but had my spouse decided that they wanted to keep the child, no pressure at all. I do what I got to do. I'll find whatever work necessary to support the child. I definitely want to be in the child's life because I want people who say that they can just do it and walk away are lying most of the time. Yeah, I agree with you. I think some women some women try to play that tough role. Some women try to play that tough role, and it's just superficial and to hide their true emotions from everybody else.
Because I feel like this is another thing. I know I might be off a long time when I say this. I know I might be off a great deal when I say this. But sometimes a lot of people don't realize, but it'd be a lot of these young women, sometimes most of these women that possibly go through these abortions be rape victims, like they was raped, by, majority of peoples, and they feel like they don't want to bring a baby or a child and anybody into this world that there was a victim of that. There was like, upcoming because of that, because it probably, it'll be too painful for them to. I might be wrong, but that's just me. And that's another reason why they could do abortion. That's probably why they be doing abortion. And another reason they probably do abortion because they not ready. They not ready for their responsibility. Like they not prepared. They don't want to put the child up for adoption. And sometimes I guess they do what they feel like is best for them, what they have to do, till they ready, I guess. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just how I see it.
Well, there are circumstances, but for the professor, there was a fear factor of having them. Now, the professor has an experience, a life experience that would make it understandable for the fear that she had, and it had nothing to do with being raped. We're gonna say raped because if not, YouTube will, you know. So we'll call it yeah. So we'll call it grape. So the professor wasn't raped, but still there were circumstances that would in her life as a young lady that would, not that she ain't young now, she's young now, but I'm talking about when she was a child. And you know, it could be a scary ordeal. Biblically, it was wrong, and I know that. I was an atheist then. I didn't see it as unaliving. Okay. And by the way, Professor, I disagree with that statement you made about not being a strong black woman. I disagree. Just because you made those decisions in the past, because you went through some things as of today that a lot of black women may not have done out of fear. Going through the military, getting your degree, working for the Fed. Yeah, that's you're not weak by any means. But some it's a pretty crazy decision. There are a lot of things going on, and if you're poor, oh, I got you, Professor, I got you. Please excuse me for misinterpreting. But taking on a family, well, especially for the professor. See, I know something that she had. I'm not saying it here. I'm not saying it now, unless she wants to reveal it. But she had revealed it in either comments that she made on her channel or thank you, Professor. But her life experience would definitely make the creation of a family of her own to be something like really, should I say traumatic? I don't know if traumatic is the word because she went through trauma, but the creation. You can still have one, Professor. You're still young enough to have one. My mother had me when she was 40, and she had another set of twins. Yeah, and she had another set of twins when she was 45, and they were healthy. So you can do it. Do it, Professor.
So you was born in 1965.
65.
Correct?
Yep. Yeah, I'm an OG.
You don't like I said, you don't look it. Like I said,
Yeah, they say I don't act like it either. They said I need to mature. I need to grow up.
No, you cool. You cool.
Thank you for that.
You cool. Like I highly respect you either other way. So
Is it okay if I put that up, Professor? Well, I'll tell you this. I'll put it up, Professor. I hope it's okay. If not, just tell me to take it down. So what I got to say about that, Professor, is you've heard how my father is or was with us. He's no longer with us. That's because I fought back. No, but you heard how my father was. Thank you, Professor. Thank you for the permission. You know how my father. D, do you know how my father was?
I remember you saying something about that a while ago. How was he
Okay.
again? He was tough, wasn't he?
Oh, my father was capable of killing one of us. Capable, very capable,
So he had
very
a short
capable.
so he had a short temper.
Well, it wasn't short, but it was definitive. Okay, I'll give you an example. So my father was a professor. He was the number 2 man in the Department of Education, and different people handle childhood drama differently. She stressed me out and said, "Okay, I got you." So my dad did not stress us. We were scared of my father when he was angry at us, but he was able to allow us to when we have family gatherings. He allowed us to mock him, to make fun of him. He allowed that, and not only that, he did show affection, kind of in a weird way. Oh yeah, he was the number 2 in the Department of Education. He was the number 2 guy. The guy who was directly above him was his friend Balaguer, who became the president that my dad was trying to form a coup against. I'll get into that. So my father, being that my older sibling, I wasn't raised in the dictatorship. My siblings were. They're much older. The next one, younger than me, is 10 years apart from me. So yeah, they were all in the mix with the dictator. So in the dictatorship, the authorities didn't care how you put your kids in check. You just had to put your kids in check. Otherwise, the government will put you in check.
Hold on 1 second. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay, so like for example, my brother. Okay, so my mother was the youngest. It was the oldest. Okay, but that was a different situation. She had to raise her younger siblings since the age of 12 because my grandmother was sick. Not the same circumstance, but for my father, my older brother, the one that became a doctor. My older brother decided that he was going to hang out with his friends and play hooky and go to a river to hang out with his friends one day. That one day is all it took. My father, yeah, my father put him in a burlap sack. You know what a burlap sack is, DeAndre?
No.
Okay, that's farmers use burlap sacks to put stuff like tomatoes, sweet potatoes.
Like
It's a
a
pretty big
brown
bag.
sack.
Like a what?
Like a brown sack, like it's made of straw or something like that.
Right, there you go. That's exactly what it is. No, he doesn't. DeAndre, you don't know about my grandmother, do you?
Was your grandmother the one that died in the hands of one of your family members?
Yeah. Okay, so you do know. Yeah. My uncle, my father's brother, hacked her 63 times.
I didn't want to. I remember in one video that you had on the Solomon Project, you were telling me about when you was growing up in Brooklyn and the Bronx, something
The
like
Bronx,
that.
yeah.
And you told me that. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
like that to me. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
I was like, when you said that, I was like, what was the purpose? Like, that's sad. Like, that's a little overkill. That's a little over too
That
much.
happened. That used to happen frequently in Dominican Republic with family members. They well, at least in my no, I shouldn't say that. The truth is, my family on my father's side, they were like that. So my dad, he put my brother in a burlap sack and grabbed the hardest stick you can imagine and beat him, broke bones
Like a pinata.
like a piñata, beat him, broke some bones. My brother defecated on himself. He wound up in intensive care for a while.
Please, please tell me you ain't got that in you. 'Cause I'm scared right now.
Oh, so that's what I'm getting to. See, because my dad, my sister, who's the mother of my nephew who's in the Marine Corps, she was sent to the store to get some stuff. And when my dad sends you someplace, you go and you come back immediately. Yeah, he suffered broken bones. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Oh, he was in bad shape. He was 1 foot in the grave from that beating. So my dad sent my sister to the store, and when my dad sends you to do something, you go get it done and come back, and you get it done by yesterday. So my sister comes back from the store, and her little friend stop her in front of the house. They got to chatting. My dad did not appreciate that. You are violating the code. So once she stepped close to the house, he punched her in the face so hard he knocked her tooth out and picked her up off the floor, man. That was my father's brand of justice.
Good Lord.
He took one of my sister's head and started bashing it against the wall when she was married and her husband was around.
He did that then?
I remember him coming down the hallway to the living room. Oh yeah, he was hardcore. And I just jumped behind the sofa because I didn't know who he was coming after. He just grabbed her by her hair and started smashing her head against the wall. Woo!
Oh,
Nobody dare get in. I remember one time I got the least of it. One time I was in the bathroom and I had the habit of staying in the bath for hours, which wasn't a problem. But when I needed a towel, I forgot to bring my towel. And I called out to my dad. I said, Dad, I need a towel. He said, yeah, wait a minute. I waited about 5 minutes and I said, Dad, I need a towel. Man, that door bursted wide open. He kicked that door in, grabbed me, started beating the melanin off. I said, yeah, okay. I'll air dry.
he made you pale then, didn't he?
Yeah, that was my reminder. Listen, you need to be accountable for your own stuff. One time he threw something at me. He threw something at me. I ducked behind a refrigerator. That thing hit that thing so hard. Boom! I escaped, but when I came back home to check to see what it was, some hard metal object from like a car or something that he threw right at my head. I took off. My mother had to negotiate me getting back in my house. And that was when I was like around 10, 11 years old.
If I may say this, I don't mean no disrespect, no harm. They said in the Hispanic household they bad about throwing shoes and
Shoes. I wish they were shoes.
and pots
Listen,
and whatever they can find. Cause it seem like to me all I be watching, especially on TikTok, they be watching the having the FYPs, and they be talking about, in a Hispanic family, like getting small, like this person was getting small with their Hispanic, with their Hispanic mama. This son was getting small with his Hispanic mama. The next thing I knew, the mama was short and the son was tall. The next thing I knew, that Hispanic mama had her son in a chokehold, cussing him out in Spanish. I couldn't understand what she was saying. I didn't know whether to laugh or what. I was like, good gracious. And they thought we got short temper. I thought I
Oh
had a
no,
short
let me
temper.
tell you. My dad wouldn't throw slippers at us. He would throw rocks at us. Literally throw rocks, bottles, anything he could get his hands on. If it was a bat, he would hit us with it. He didn't care. When he grabbed the belt, he didn't care which end he was grabbing. Sometimes we get hit with the belt buckle.
The
It was
belt,
crazy. Yeah, with the metal.
Ricky
Olivia
Ricardo.
Munn, an actress that is half Asian, stated that her Asian mother was known for hitting her with objects as a professor, rocks, anything he could get his hands on. Because we would run. We knew we were going to get a severe beatdown. The beatdowns were severe. Oh, yeah.
Ricky Ricardo ain't got nothing on this.
Nah, Ricky Ricardo is nuts. Ricky Ricardo is a
He think
Stay Puft.
he
No,
think
my dad was serious. And let me tell you something. At the breakfast table, I think I mentioned this before. At the breakfast table, I'll never forget this. Because, all right, so my dad. Okay, so here's an example, right? My dad, he punished me for like the whole summer. I wasn't allowed to go out and hang out for the whole summer. So I'm sitting in the kitchen watching TV. We had a TV in the kitchen, so I'm sitting in the kitchen watching TV. And my dad comes in, and he said to the professor, the worst in my family was my great grandfather. If you didn't listen to him, he'd grab his shotgun and shoot at people. Woo!
No.
Well, let me tell you what my dad did, Professor. So I'm sitting there watching TV, and my dad comes up to me, and he said, were you just outside? I said, outside? No, I've been in here watching TV. Are you sure you wasn't outside? I could have sworn I saw you outside. No, I wasn't outside. I'm telling you. He had a habit of asking you questions and stabbing you with his finger. Man, that thing felt like he was hitting you with a lock.
What was your mama at when all this
Yeah,
was going
Oh,
on?
no, I'll tell you about my mama right now. All right. Yeah. Fortunately, that's a good thing, Professor. Let me tell you about my mom. All right. But after I tell you about this incident. So I'm sitting there. I'm just watching TV. I felt the poking and it hurt like hell. But I figured that'd be the end of it. No, I heard what sounded like like bacon sizzling just before his fist came across my face. Boom! Knocked me to the floor and started kicking the sunshine out of me.
What?
And then one night, I asked him for permission so I can go watch the fireworks for the 4th of July. And he said, sure, go. All right. But then I told him, Dad, I'm going to be late. All right. No, go ahead. Got home late. The problem was I disturbed him because I didn't bring my keys with me. So he opens the door. I'm with my friend Freddie. Freddie's standing like 10 feet back. And he greets Freddie. Says, hi, Freddie. How you doing? I'm okay, Mr. Ramirez. How are you? I'm doing good. While they're talking, I'm walking past my father who's holding the door. And as I'm walking, he says goodnight to Freddie. The door closed. I'm walking toward the apartment. Yeah, Freddie knew my dad. So I'm walking toward the apartment. I don't remember hearing my father walking behind me. But here comes that bacon sizzling again. Boom! Caught me right in the side of the head. Bam! Caught me with an uppercut. I turn around and I start running toward the door to exit. He grabs me by my waist, pulls me back, boom, 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 delivers a few combos. Then I got out of there. Choom, gone. I didn't return for like 2 months. Afraid that my dad would finish me off. But here's the thing. You hear how terrible that is, right? Did I get therapy? I never got therapy for that. I've had some people take me to psychiatrists and stuff like that, psychologists, but like Dr. Ian Canino, Dr. Ian Canino, when I first went to his office, he greeted me. He went, "Hello, my name is Dr. Ian Canino." And I responded by saying, "Hello, Dr. Ian Canino. My name is..." So we started off with the wrong foot. How did I cope? Well, okay, so here's the thing, right? So my dad was hard. He was hard with us. He didn't show a lot of affection, but with me, he did show some. He would tickle me while I was sleeping, stuff like that. And not only that, he allowed us to make fun of him. You can argue with him, but it's got to be respectful. So that's why I believe that it's not the beatings, it's the psychological along with the beatings that do the most damage. The beatings you heal from. You get bruises, but you can heal from the bruises go away. You can heal. Even the broken bones heal. But it's the psychological. It's that beating where they tell you that you're useless, worthless. He never used to beat us and do that. He used to beat us and call us, MFer and stuff like the typical stuff that you say when you get into a street fight. But not that you're worthless. Actually, you know what he used to do? I heard him tell my brother that he was sterile. Now that's a tremendous insult in the Spanish community to call a man sterile. Yeah, that's woof. And I remember hearing him tell my brother something like that. But believe it or not, of all the siblings, of all of us, only one used to hammer her kid like my dad, and that was my sister Frances that got her tooth knocked out, whose son went into the Marine Corps, who told his CO that basic wasn't so bad because it was just like being at home. But I don't hit my kids. Well, I hit one of my kids once, and this happened like maybe 10 years ago. He's 12 now, and I still to this day, I might tear up a little bit when I'm alone and think about what happened. I don't hit my kids. It hurts me. No, I slapped him in his hands, but I slapped him pretty hard in his hand. And he's the only one I ever hit. I never hit any of my kids. Just by yelling at them, they start crying. And at the moment, it doesn't bother me that I'm chastising them that way. They need that, and it doesn't bother me. But later on, I think about how they were standing there crying, and it destroys me. It kills me. It really does. So I didn't come out like my dad in that sense. My brother did, my older brother. Now, my older brother with someone who wasn't his child, I'd be afraid for them. My older brothers. Mm-mm. But his nephews and nieces, he's good with them for the most part. I mean, he did take one of our nephews and put his head through a glass door because he disrespected his mother. But outside of that, yeah, no. I try to reason with my children. So I didn't adopt my dad's ways. Yeah, my dad will break your jaw and sleep well at night. His whole family's like that. His sisters, my aunts, my uncles, they're all like that.
You honestly, you came from a long way, and you came and overcame through so much that you dealt with. Like now, you telling us the story, and you telling it like with a straight face, and you being strong about it. That basically says like you overcame a lot, and you always keep the positive energy, the great energy, and the strong mind that you have. And I
I have
think
to I have to attribute that to my mother. I have to be grateful because my mother served as the other side of the scale. Although you had asked me about my mom, and I'm going to tell you right now, with my other
yeah,
siblings, right? Because my mom didn't have to work outside of the home, but at home, if one of us got it well, I wasn't around at that time, but when my siblings got it twisted, started acting a little funny, she didn't particularly care for it. Well, when my father got home, this is not even I'm not even exaggerating. My mother would have a straight face and she would just point to whatever child gave her a headache. And my dad wouldn't ask a question, not one question. He would just go
so
to that child and beat the living snot out of that child. Then he would come back and ask her, "Why'd you tell me to?" And then she would explain.
so so basically, if I may say this, if I may say this one quick thing. So
Mhm.
basically, it's kind of like they were kind of like, I don't mean no disrespect when I say this, I mean this in the most respectable, most positive way. So basically, it's like they was like the Florida Evans and James Evans of good times, you know. It's like, you know, he kind of put you in the your father kind of put you in the mind of James Evans, but except James Evans didn't go overboard and do that extracurricular stuff that your father did, but he did believe in whooping if
Oh,
they
he
got out of
definitely believed
line.
in whooping. Oh yeah, and going back to what I was saying about the breakfast table, this is something that I will never forget. And it's a principle that he instilled in me, which is why um, I guess that's what makes me a conservative, I guess. But my father was eating breakfast and I was eating breakfast right across from him. And he just stopped. He just stopped eating. Just stopped. And I'm eating and I realized that he stopped because you know how you can feel somebody staring at you, right? Well, that's exactly what he was doing. He was staring right at me. He stopped. He still had food. He ain't finished his breakfast, but he felt the need to just stop right there and stare me down. So when I looked up and he realized that he got my attention, he told me, you know, I don't raise parasites. If I find out that you were inconveniencing other people because you were leaning on them for some reason, that you were behaving like a leech, I'm going to take you out of this world. And he said it with a straight face and this was a look that I've never seen him do on any of us. So I knew it was serious. I knew he meant it. And was he capable? Yeah, he was very capable of taking me out. Yeah. So I made it my business to never do that.
My word.
However, growing up in the neighborhoods that I grew up, that toughness that he provided saved my life. Literally saved my life. I was going down the wrong path. I was going down the wrong path. In fact, um, I was caught up in a set of circumstances for something that I didn't even do, but because I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, I found myself facing a judge with the potential of going down for 25 to life. So I wasn't around good company, but I think it was those lessons that I learned from my dad and my mom that helped me get back on track. Oh yeah, I was facing 25 to life, but charges eventually were dismissed. It was over something that somebody else did, but can't snitch. Can't snitch. So I had to eat that. I had to wait till the judge finally threw the case out. And that's not the experience that I shared with you, Professor, on one of your, it was an exchange of comments. But I also brought up some things that have happened in prison. Yeah. Do I need therapy? Probably. I probably do. But I definitely wouldn't want anything on my record to indicate that. You know what? Let me just share this with you, Professor. So I've been arrested and processed 3 times here in the United States, in New York City, and once in Dominican Republic. However, I was never convicted of anything. One of those times, this is what woke me up to the process. So I was arrested for grand larceny for a stolen car. The car wasn't stolen. The car was a gift given to me by an instructor's brother who was a correction officer, but he had to do something with the car to transfer the insurance from that car to another or to the minute. I don't know what the process was. The thing was, he was trying to get a hold of me. He couldn't get a hold of me. So he reported the car stolen. I get arrested. I get processed. So I start out, and lesson learned, even if you're innocent, do not talk to the police, even if you're innocent. I'll tell you why. So I get taken to the police station, what we call the precinct. I get fingerprinted, processed, interrogated, and I'm talking freely because I didn't do anything wrong. I said, no, that car was gifted to me, this, that, and the third. Oh, it was gifted to you. Okay, yeah. And what happened? And they encourage a dialogue. They want you to keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. So from the precinct, you get sent to central booking. You get processed there. From central booking, they send you to another precinct so you can sleep over. Then they take you back to central booking, get processed again for the 3rd time, and then you got to go through 3 levels. This is in the Bronx. So the 1st and 2nd level, the 1st level is PD, police. The The second and third level is run by corrections, if I remember correctly. When I get to the final level and I'm going in to see the judge, I get assigned a. Yeah, they do mean that. They do mean that, and I'm going to tell you right now. So they assign me a public pretender. So I'm inside the court, and here comes the prosecutor reading off the charges. By the time that man was done, you would think that I was on the FBI's most wanted list. And I'm looking around like, what the hell is that? I didn't do anything. Luckily for me, the guy who gifted me the car showed up and explained that no, he didn't steal, and they dismissed it. Now prison. Yeah, I was in prison for 10 years.
Stop. No, get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I was in 2 different county jails, a reception facility or assessment facility, and then a maximum prison. For the stupidest reason you could possibly imagine. Yeah. For the stupidest reason you could possibly imagine, I spent 10 years in the penal system. A decision that at one time I regretted, but as I thought about it, Professor, this is worse than what you're thinking. I volunteered to go to prison.
I know good and darn well you didn't do that.
I didn't do what? I volunteered.
Oh,
I was a correction officer for 10 years.
Oh.
You want to talk about ridiculous? Some people love that stuff.
Wait a minute. So you were locked up?
Well, if you're a correction officer, yeah, you're pretty much locked up. Even though you get to go home every day, you're still locked up.
Oh, so you worked as a correctional officer.
Yeah, I was a correctional officer.
The way you said it was like the way you said
I know.
It's like, oh no.
But it's worse. It's worse than committing a crime and being sent. You're volunteering to be in that environment. It is a horrible environment. Even if you're wearing a blue uniform, it is a horrible environment.
You can, because the thing is, when you think about it, I understand what you're saying. When you think about it, you may leave the house that one morning to go to work. When you leave that house, 9 times out of 10, sometimes you might not. I ain't trying to scare nobody. You might not make it back, because I know in the type of job you were doing, peoples are getting shanked in that type of stuff that you was in. People getting shanked every day and everything, and it's like, and the officers, they be getting involved in it, and they end up being,
check this out. We, the officers, we're a neutral party. We have no vested interest in attacking and unaliving people. Okay. We have a job. So the inmates are more concerned about other inmates, not us. We could take privileges away, but we're not going to try to unalive them. So they want to keep some kind of good rapport with us, because we're the ones that are going to be stepping in to prevent that unaliving process.
Okay, I get you now.
Yeah. But that don't mean that we're not targets. We're still targets. I had three co-workers that went out on a permanent medical leave. Permanent. And it's and see, you're literally locked in. When you work in a unit, you are locked in the unit, and it's 50-1. For every one officers, there are 50 inmates that you got to deal with, and they're big, and they're strong.
I had
You're
no
thinking,
idea.
yeah,
You've been
yeah.
doing you've been doing a show today.
Today's a show, huh?
I know I came in late. See, I apologize if I was late.
No, that's okay. That's. I'm not taking you off my Christmas list for being late.
Okay.
You had the do-rag, so because you had the do-rag, that right there eliminated the late.
Wait a minute, wait. Say what now?
Because you wore your do-rag, the lateness went away.
So every time when I come in the live or when I do a live myself.
No, man, I don't know what happened to Tony T. Tony T might be in a bad place. I'm sorry, D. I interrupted you. He might be in a bad place and his Wi-Fi is ain't kicking in. Sorry about that, Professor. Next time I'm going to buy him some Wi-Fi so he can stay on. But the prison environment is absolutely disgusting. Well, the county jail is disgusting. The county jail has conflicts all day, every day. Very busy. You could be sitting on the throne and a code will be called. And you got to get up. And you ain't got time to wipe. You got to go. You could be eating your lunch or your dinner, whatever, depending on what it is. When you're new at the in corrections, a lot of times you get mandated to work an extra shift, so you wind up working 16-hour shifts, sometimes back to back. Usually is every other day. So when you're new, you're just sitting there waiting. The announcement comes over the PA, we need 3 officers tonight. And you start calculating to see where you are on the seniority list. And you realize you're like, damn, I'm one of those 3. Yeah, you're staying an extra shift. And then you got to deal with some crazy stuff. There's it's a psychological roller coaster that the inmates put you through. A lot of that stuff they learn from Sun Tzu. They use it. They put you on that psychological and emotional roller coaster, break you down, get you to lose your cool. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty interesting, that environment. But yeah, you're always outnumbered, always. So you got to be prepared for whatever. In the prison, in the max, things don't happen that often. When they do, it's big. But in the county jail, it's every day, every shift, except for maybe sometimes on third shift because they're supposed to be sleeping, but not first and second shift. It's on and popping constantly. And then once I had enough seniority, I transferred from one facility to another where I would have more seniority. That's when I started working 93 hours a week. because now I was doing things outside. See, so it's a 5 and 3, 5 on 3 off, and then I was working first shift, or second shift. So then I was able to do stuff on first shift, do other work on first shift, and then when on my 3 days off, I would do trucking. So I worked every day, nonstop, for 5 years, average 93 hours a week, no vacations, nothing. Going crazy. I would literally be dressed one way when I got in my car with my uniform inside the car, and as I'm driving, I'm stripping and putting on my uniform as I'm driving.
Don't be giving people's a show.
Why not? It's free. Hey, when I used to change my clothes in the car, I used to make sure I used to wear my thongs on backwards. That way, if anybody looked inside, they were getting a free show. Okay, I have acquainted with a trucker whose sister works as a correction officer in Texas. Listen, what do you mean, no, Professor? No, don't put on a show. Well, hey, it makes for good comedy when I got my thongs on backwards. But check it out. Yeah, so she's a correction officer in Texas. So corrections for women. Okay, so in the you all right, D? Yo, D, you all right?
I'm good. I'm okay. I just need a minute.
Okay. Oh man, so the professor don't want no man thongs around. Okay. Hey, it happens, Professor. It happens. So, so for the women, okay, this is interesting, right? In the men's medium and maximum facilities, women are to be respected by the inmates. You disrespect a female correction officer is different from disrespecting a male officer amongst the inmate population. They don't appreciate when you disrespect a female. They do try to, you know what? Oh yeah, yes they do. They pour that psychology on them. Sun Tzu, full in effect. The Art of War. They go to war on those women psychologically. They try to get that. Oh yeah. And they accomplish it many times. Many times. Now, I'll tell you this. If the female CEO is getting her groove on, I don't have a problem with getting your groove on. It's the stuff that comes after getting the groove on that becomes a problem. When they start asking for the female to bring in weapons, bring in phones, bring in stuff like that, then it becomes dangerous. There's a woman that just got into trouble for being caught on tape having the horizontal polka with a male inmate. Yeah, you see? Because it leads up to, because now once the inmate has that kind of relation with the female officer, he has leverage over her now. He knows that he can report her and get her in trouble. She can even get locked up for that. Although for the females, that's not usually the case. But with a male and a male officer and a female inmate, yeah, they usually lock the male up. But but the problem is that because the inmate now has leverage over the female and can threaten her career, her job, now he he can ask her to do things that'll jeopardize everybody. Oh, they're considering it? Yeah, because you're a person in a position of power over someone who you have power over. So that's why Clinton got in trouble with Lewinsky, because he was in position of power over her, even though It was even though they both agreed to it. And with Trump too, I don't care what Trump does with his little hands
The orange
and
Cheetos food.
those females. I don't care about that. That's, to me, that's nonsense. But something else went down along with that. That he did something. He did something stupid and he got caught. And those and that's, listen. When I got out of the academy and they announced where I was going to be assigned. Well, no, not when I got out. When I started, you would know day one what facilities you were going to be assigned to. And when I found out that I was going to a men's facility, I was thanking God so much, because it is tougher to work with the females than it is with the males, because the females are more manipulative than the men. And they'll get you jammed up on a simple accusation. Doesn't have to be true. They can get you jammed up. So when I found out I wasn't going to a female facility, I thanked God. But that kind of stuff goes on. Oh, yeah. See, you agree. You agree. They're very manipulative. And the female juveniles? Oh my God! You work in a juvenile facility for females, you got to go in there with a cross, holy water, garlic, a steak. Those girls, OMG. No. Sing that song, D. Hell no to the no, no, no.
That's it. You got it.
Yep.
This song is by Bishop Bullwinkle.
Yeah, you got to take all that with you in there, because those girls will get you fired on a lie. Immediately fired. The state didn't play that. Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't work in the men's facility. I remember the first time okay, so before you start the academy, they tell you where you're going, and you got something that's called Sight Sense. First day, you get your uniform, you get all your stuff, your gear, you find out what class you're in, who your instructor is, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. And then day two, they send you to your facility. The reason they do that is they want to make sure that you feel up to the task of doing that job. A lot of people, when they hear that door slam, that heavy metal door slam behind them, that's the moment when reality hits and they say, I don't think this is for me. And then they take them on a tour to the different units. While the unit is wrecking, while they're on recreation, and they're all out. So in my facility, I was in a maximum security facility, and they took me to a variety of units, and all of them were out. All 96 inmates were out. And that door is locked behind you. If something jumps off, they're not opening the door until backup shows up. So basically, you got to defend yourself. The only thing you have, well, you as a recruit, you don't have anything. But once you're a unit officer, you got a set of Folger Adam keys, a body alarm, the radio, and that's your defense. So depending on the type of officer you are, you better be prepared to scrap if something jumps off. And more than likely, you'll be scrapping against more than one diesel inmate. because they works out. Okay, so you got to be prepared. Psychologically, you got to be. Some people that it doesn't impact them until they actually see an event. Oh, but let me tell you something. Some people do quit during sight sense. They're gone. They don't come back. They don't come back to the academy. That's it. That's all they needed to hear. That door slam. So the department wants to make sure that they're not gonna just spend money on somebody that's not gonna stick around. They're not gonna train somebody who's not gonna stick around. Something I thought I would never reveal. My career as a correction officer for 10 years. But you guys forced it out of me.
Huh?
D, you're responsible too. D, don't hide. You're responsible for me revealing that I was a correction officer for 10 years.
I didn't have nothing to do with that. I'm innocent on that one. I'm just sitting here listening. I'm just sitting here listening. I'm gonna listen to you regardless.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't gonna leave you high and dry.
Thank you, D. But I learned a great deal. I learned a lot. I learned a lot working in that environment. And that's the reason why, on one side, I think volunteering to go to prison was stupid. But on the other, the lessons that I learned were priceless, super valuable. It has helped me when I have my bouts with anger. Helped me a lot. Your only weapon is your mouth in prison. You have to sharpen your interpersonal communication skills. Got to have that.
That's important.
Because, yes, it is. Because you're in an environment where you're psychologically manipulated, and an inmate would love nothing better than for you to lose your cool and do something you're not supposed to do so that they can sue you and take you for everything you're worth. So the rest of your career will be spent paying off the inmate that sued you. Yep. Tell you how bad it is. Let's say you're the rover. You got the officer that's in charge of opening and closing doors. And then there's the rover that walks around, lets his presence be known. Besides the fact that there are cameras all over the place, the inmates see you, the officer, walking around. And so they know, hey, you know, they're around, they're watching. And it's there are 2 floors. So you got the second floor, which is the second tier, the top tier. So you're doing your tour in the top tier, the farthest point from your control officer. While you're looking inside the cells to make sure there aren't any bodies in there, you hear this commotion and you turn around and the control officer is getting assaulted. Now, if it was just a personal thing that the whoever it is assaulting the control officer is if it's a personal thing with those two, then there was no talk of setting the whole thing up and me getting attacked on the top tier while the officer's getting attacked on the bottom tier. So you run down the stairs, you know, you hit the alarm, you call the code on the radio, you're running down to help your coworker because they're scrapping. They're scrapping, and this can get No, that's
Sorry
fine.
about that. I had to get comfortable. I got hot. It got hot.
No, that's cool. So you're running to make sure that this thing doesn't escalate to where another inmate joins in and things get really crazy. And when as you're running down, you notice that the inmate has a weapon and he begins stabbing your coworker nonstop. So now there's ketchup everywhere. And you're within a few feet from attacking the inmate that's attacking your coworker, but the inmate stops and drops the weapon and puts his hands up. You slip on whatever and fall on top of the inmate while the door is popped open by main control and backup is rolling in, and the lieutenant is coming in with his camera recording everything. You tripped and hit the inmate. You're in trouble. You can be brought up on charges. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? I got stories for days about the prison, but I won't do that tonight. Maybe in some other lives, maybe questions could be asked and I'll answer them. But yeah, those were fun times. Fun times. Okay, I don't know. Did I bore you guys to death?
No.
I think I'm gonna. Yeah.
I got some laughs out of it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
if anybody leaves one of my lives without a laugh,
listen, I don't know what it is. You be tripping me out of my own lives by your comments when I be doing live, and you be coming in.
Thank you, Professor.
I no lie, like you are very interesting. Like your videos interesting, your lives are very interesting. You be giving me laughs for days. It's just something about it's something about your energy. It just, it keeps me glued,
Is it just that, D? I mean, you could be honest, because my parents used to laugh at me, not with me.
Like I'm being honest, like you as a comedian.
Well, you know what? Now that I think about it, my dad never laughed at my jokes, ever.
But you was hilarious.
My mom laughed, but my dad never laughed at my jokes. He didn't like my jokes.
But honestly, you did not bore me to death. You didn't do none of that. I was just listening, just taking it all in,
I appreciate that very much, and thank you, Professor, for that. Thank you for saying I'm interesting. My children, I don't know what they think about. They're just embarrassed when they take me around someplace. They try to deny that I'm their dad. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Tell them I'm your dad. What are you doing?
Like they don't want to be seen with you in public.
No, they don't.
What did you do to them kids to make them feel like that? What you do to them?
It's my dad jokes. I got some really bad dad jokes.
What they call you? What they call you? They said, please, you don't have to do all that. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, they just put their head down and just do one of these, like, oh my God, here we go.
I bet they be saying, oh, here we go again. Here go one of these.
Well, you know what? One of my kids are having surgery this week coming. And he told me, listen, Dad, I don't want you there. I said, what? What are you talking about? He says, no, you're going to embarrass me. You're gonna... Well, he's right.
Oh.
Listen, I got kicked out of the hospital one time a friend of mine who was a detective. He got shot 5 times. So after the surgery, I went to go visit him, and I was making him laugh so much that I was told it's better if I left because he was in pain from all the laughing.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, that's bad. I know, but I'm traumatized, so it should be all right. I should be able to joke my head off. Oh, it's falling off. See, it's dumb jokes like that my kids just look at me. This is wow, man. You know what? My kids have better jokes than me. It's crazy. My 12-year-old hit me with a yo mama joke that was so
Oh,
good that I laughed so hard I literally fell off the chair.
literally?
Literally fell off the chair. I was laughing that hard.
Who picked
He
you
said
up?
something. He said they weren't trying to pick me up. They just left me on the floor.
I can't. The reason I can't do them, I can't do them jokes. Them jokes ain't for me because even though I know it's a joke, because my mama, she's no longer here, so
I
I can't
understand.
do I can't do them jokes because somebody say something about mine, I'm gonna get mad and I'm gonna set it off.
No, I understand completely. Thankfully they weren't addressing it to their grandmother. Well, she's not here either, but they weren't addressing their grandmother. But you know, I mean, I came back with a couple of yo mama jokes that were pretty good too. But my kids are funnier than me. I'm like, yo, what the heck? Yeah, yeah. So let me see what time it is in Seattle because I know the professor got to take care of business.
Oh my goodness.
So I got the professor on my world clock. Uh, the professor, uh, the professor and Curtis York were 2 of my subscribers that uh, that surprised the hell out of me because they kept following me, and I was beyond extremely appreciative. Just like I'm appreciative with you, D and Tony T. These guys follow me
Like
on the
I said,
channel.
like I said, I'm gonna continue to support. I'm gonna continue to watch the videos because they are interesting and extraordinary to me, and because like today, this morning, I watched Whip It Out Wednesday. I was cleaning up. I think I was cleaning up, mopping my floor, and I had your video playing in the background. But I can hear exactly what you were saying. I was multitasking. I was cleaning up and I was listening to your video. So I said, you know what? It's Whip It Out Wednesday. He finally got it up. So let me go on and watch it.
What? What was that? It's Whip It Out Wednesday, and I finally got it up. Oh boy!
No, no,
Listen,
no, no,
listen. No,
not
hey.
no, no. They did not. They
Oh
didn't come
oh
out.
my goodness.
They didn't come out right. My bad. That's just
Oh, you
say
know what? I'm sorry, Professor. Professor, I'm sorry. You know,
You had the video up. You had the video
trauma.
up.
Sorry,
You had
Professor.
the you had the video up, and I decided to clean up and watch it playing in the background on the TV. That's what I meant. My bad.
Look at the professor's reaction.
I'm sorry.
Yo!
I
Oh
am
my
so
goodness.
sorry.
Listen. Sorry, Professor. Sorry, sorry, sorry.
My
Sorry.
bad. It's the
A
heat. I'm
thousand
telling you.
sorries.
It's the heat. It's the heat. It's the heat.
A thousand sorries.
I'm so embarrassed.
Whip It Out. Let me tell you something. Whip It Out Wednesday almost didn't make it to the Solomon Project because Whip It Out Wednesday was a creation of a previous channel called Get That Money.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Somebody came on and did something extremely inappropriate and got my channel shut down.
What, the Whip It Out Wednesday?
Not on Whip It Out Wednesday. It was on a live. And
So they didn't say nothing. They did.
oh, yeah. Okay. So I could bring that over here, Professor. What I was doing there, I could bring that here. What do you say, Professor? Give me a yes or a no. Can I bring back my antics? Yeah. Okay. So it was a little different, D. I was a little more spicy. Eh. Oh,
Oh,
what? What? Look what the professor said. Look what the professor said.
you was filthy. You was
What?
filthy.
A little bit. A little bit.
I know, not you.
No, not me. Mm-mm. Not me, D. D, I was a church boy over in Get That Money.
Don't be.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
No. Let me say this. The ones that be going
Choir
to the church, the ones that be going to the church, them be the main ones that be having it type of stuff. But I'm a hush on that one.
Okay. The professor gave me permission. I can act out like I did on GTM. Thank you, Professor.
I'm scared.
Thank you.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared, D. Don't be
I'm
scared.
scared.
Just wear a rubber jacket.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. The professor said, hold up. I was referring to the man that messed up your channel. He was nasty. Oh, yeah, he was. He was real. D, what he posted wasn't just racist, but it was super inappropriate. I mean, super duper. It was some Pornhub type stuff, okay? Yes, ruined my channel.
Oh.
Ruined my channel. Seriously. So now if I don't know the individual that pops up backstage, I'm not bringing them up.
Okay.
I'm not bringing them up. If you don't know them, don't do it. Because they'll ruin DDTS.
It's cool. Sure. Uh-huh.
You let me know when you're going to bed. You can turn it off.
Okay, I might leave it on for the rest of the night though.
No, I probably won't.
Okay. My bad.
No, that's fine. Yeah, he that was a dirty move. It was so terrible. I need therapy after that.
I could listen. I'm not gonna say what I know what I think I know what it is, but I'm not gonna say it on here.
It was listen, it was there was some acts going on.
It was some.
He said we hate the N-word. We hate this religion. We hate this. We hate that. And then while he was saying all that, people were getting it on.
He is a nasty.
Visually, I'm talking about graphic. I'm talking about terrible. So, Professor, I can't be.
So basically,
I can't be GTM here.
So basically, he shows some nasty stuff, and basically,
yeah,
getting it on, and
messy images, as the professor calls it. Messy images. Yeah, it was nasty.
This was before I joined, wasn't it?
It was before. Yeah, no, it's a different channel.
Oh, see, I ain't know that.
Yeah, see, the professor's saying it right there. It was nasty.
Talk about it, but you was. Oh my god.
He was nasty, man. He did what he did. What he did right there would just shut you down out of everything. The way he came out.
I finna say, I hope he wasn't doing it on your on the
Listen,
thing.
they wouldn't even accept that in OnlyFans. They wouldn't accept it.
What you
That's
know
how
about OnlyFans?
that's how nasty he was. He was so
What you know,
nasty. OnlyFans would have kicked him out.
what you know about OL?
I got an OnlyFans page.
You better not. You better not. I don't.
I don't do OnlyFans.
Me either. It ain't for everybody.
Yeah, I don't engage in none of that stuff.
Nope. It ain't for
Yo,
everybody.
the professor popped up immediately in caps. No, you don't. Yo,
That's exactly what I'm saying.
yo.
That's what I'm saying. Better not.
Oh my goodness, I better
I'm
watch
gonna
my
get my
step.
bill.
Professor, yeah, the professor's gonna get her belt too.
I'm gonna get my bill.
Straighten me out.
I'm gonna get my bill.
Good Lord.
Let me
Oh, you
quit.
see, the professor don't have one. See that? The
I
professor
don't
ain't
need
playing
them.
that.
I don't need them.
I was gonna open one with the same thongs I used to change in my car when I used to go to work,
Oh, okay.
and I was gonna wear a curly-haired wig
No, you wouldn't.
with gold chains.
No, you would. Listen, you cutting up tonight.
Tonight's that night, huh?
You be
It's in,
you be.
it's
I'm
Independence Day. I'm being independent.
Yeah, I'm getting good.
I got flagged. I
Did
got
you really?
flagged.
Did
Look,
you really?
the professor. Look at the professor put up. She put it. I got a flag. She says, "Stop it! Stop
She
it!"
said, stop. You in trouble.
Yes, I am. Look. Oh my.
Let me stop it, cause I ain't
Oh
trying to get
my
in trouble.
goodness. Oh my goodness. Behave yourself, D.
I'm being good. That's you.
Hold on. I'm gonna get the soap. Put soap in my mouth. When I was a kid in school, I don't know if they still do that, but when I was a kid in school, if you had a foul mouth, they used to threaten to wash your mouth out with soap. Hold on.
They say that all the time. They did that all the time. Well, not with me.
Got the wipey. Getting rid of those 4-letter words. Look out.
I still say them to this day.
Yeah, no, but I gotta respect the professor.
Yeah.
She keeps me on track.
You gonna have a 3-hour live. You do know that.
That's
don't
incredible. Yeah, this thing ran on for forever. I had no idea, but you know what? I better let me see, because it's well, you know what, Professor? You are or you were in the Navy. I could just imagine the stuff you heard. What? Oh, I'm acting the fool now. Hold up, let me check the world clock.
Yeah, you just acting up. You just acting up.
I did eat today, Professor. I did eat today. Seattle time. I know the professor has to take care of business by 3 or before 3. Or she wanted me to start the live before 8 her time because she's got to go to work tomorrow. You got to go to work tomorrow, right, Professor? It started in boot camp and they didn't let up. After you were done with boot camp, them dirty mouths were still going. Yeah, you work tomorrow. I remember. Hey, Professor, you need to wash out your mouth out with soap. Man, I said it all crazy and wrong. You need to wash your mouth out with soap. You just used a 4-letter word. Work. That's a 4-letter word. Oh, Professor.
Y'all have fun watching y'all map out with soap now. y'all can have it.
No, you know what? D, now that you mentioned soap, the professor has her own brand of soap. She hasn't put it out
What?
yet. Yes, she hasn't put it out yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, I've been showering without soap.
No, you have not. You have.
I'm waiting for the professor's soap.
So you ain't been using no Down, no Dove, no Irish Spring, no body wash, no nothing. So you've been using
I
plain
just I just
water,
I just pour water.
huh?
I just pour water. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the professor's soap. Look, man.
I'm not listening. I'm not fixing to with you.
I'm gonna make sure. Hey, I'm gonna make sure that the first funk that comes off is gonna be with the professor's soap. Okay? She doesn't believe me.
She said, "Don't take you a shower." She said, "Get some soap with that water till she make it." Right, 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 Miss Professor. Right.
I'm gonna be walking around stanking until I get
No,
that
no,
soap.
no, 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 no. We no. Get you some soap. Get you
The
some
professor's
Dove,
soap.
Down, Ajax, whatever you have to do.
Oh, you didn't see this shirt. You didn't see this shirt, baby. You
What
ain't
is it?
seen the shirt.
GTM. Get that money. Okay,
That's the old
okay.
channel. That's the old channel. Get that money, baby. I have merch and everything.
Make
Merch
sure
and everything.
if you get that, like if you get that channel back, please make sure you watch who come in your establishment, because you don't want the same thing to happen over again. What you just told me about that I didn't know about.
Professor says I'm grown. She said, "Hit the soap and water." I'm grown.
Yeah, hit that soap and water.
I'm rebellious. I'm grown, but I'm get zestfully clean. She said.
Desperately clean. That means use that soap till you see suds, like on SpongeBob
What?
SquarePants, till you see suds.
Hey, I think that the professor's soap is going to be shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants. No. Oh man, the professor is pulling out her rank,
No rebel. That soap and water.
smelling that soap and water. I'm waiting for the professor's soap. I'm gonna make bubbles with the professor's soap. Oh, bless you,
Thank you.
bless you.
I need to go give me some ice cold water or something. I'm thirsty.
Wait a minute, professor. All right, no, I'm not
Thank
gonna. I'm not.
you.
Gonna, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not gonna mention it. I'll leave that out.
Thank
That's
you.
a that's a sensitive
Thank
issue
you,
right
Miss
there.
Professor.
Hey, Miss Professor. Okay, that's cool.
I just say Miss Professor. I know I don't know the professor. I just say Miss Professor, being respectable.
She's a tough character. She's a tough character, and she puts on some very educational material. In my description on every video, live or recorded, I always include yes, yes, I do. I always include her 2 channels, the link for her 2 channels. It's extremely. She puts on these old movies. I'm talking about raggedy old. That shows an aspect of our community that you probably don't see. You definitely don't see now, but you probably didn't even know that we used to live like that back in the day, back in the 20s and 30s. It'll be on the Evergreen Wave, the soap. What's that? What's that disclaimer with ponds? Oh, I guess the fireworks are going. I hear what sounds like gunshots. Oh, got it. Got it. So they have the license to whatever music you use. Oh, look at me. I'm jumping. What? Okay, I got it. I got you. Okay, so I think I'm going to shut it down now after almost 3 hours. Oh, really?
Hard. You worked hard today.
I put in my time, didn't I? Oh man, I look like a weirdo. All right, cool. So, folks, I want to thank you. Seriously, the professor is a guiding light for me, and I'm glad she subscribed to my channel. And what the heck? What are you laughing about, Professor? But yeah, I think I better stop now because it's almost 3 hours. And thank you, Professor. Thank you also. That means a lot.
You're very welcome. Thank each and every one of y'all. Thank you both for having me. It was a joy coming in and being a part of this establishment.
D.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I'm gonna leave again because this is the worst part of doing lives. I don't know how to say goodbye.
I'm the same way. Like, soon as I say goodbye, people want to type in when I'm.
You guys can be honest. I'm gonna ask you a question. You guys can be honest. The glasses, do they look like those fake glasses with the big nose? Because that's what that's what I look like. I look like I have on the my nose is big for real, but with the glasses on, it looks like those fake glasses with the nose. Look at it.
I ain't gonna tell you no story with those. Oh, you probably finna clown me. But
oh, the professor's so kind. Let me tell you something, Professor.
I like your glasses.
Now that we're on this, now that we touched on the subject of my mom, check this out, D. My siblings used to tease me, call me ugly when I was a kid, and I used to get upset. I used to get angry at them for teasing me, and my mom used to calm me down. She used to tell me, "Son, don't listen to them. Men are like mascots. The uglier they are, the more lovable they are."
Oh.
But wait a minute. Wait a second, though. The way it's said in Spanish, you don't pick up on it. You don't pick, or at least I didn't pick up on it right away, because the way it's said in Spanish is, El hombre es como el oso. Mientras más feo, más hermoso.
You speak
So,
Spanish good.
oh yeah, I practiced a lot.
You speak Spanish good. I was gonna ask you, do you talk in both languages?
Yeah, I do. The first language that I learned was Spanish. I learned to read it, write it, speak it.
Do you talk in Spanish at home to your family?
I do.
So no English at home, or just Spanish?
No. For the kids get Spanish from their mom, and then they get the English from me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But for years, I was thinking, damn, mom's cool. See, she backs me up. So when she used to say that, I used to just look at my brothers and sisters and kind of like do one of these. Ha ha. Mom says, I'm like a mascot. Ha ha. Without realizing she was calling me ugly too.
Oh my word!
But finally, when I was about 13, I thought about it for a second, and then my mom said it, and I said, Mom, wait a second. Oh, the professor does the SpongeBob too. Yes. So I'm gonna be getting me some SquarePants. I'm gonna be blowing bubbles with the SquarePants. So, so I confronted my mother on that. I said, Mom, all these years, I just realized you've been calling me ugly too.
You is not ugly.
No, but I'm saying I addressed my mom about that. She was trying to calm me down, and instead of just saying what you said, oh no, you're not ugly. No, she said, don't worry about it, son. Men are like mascots. The uglier they are, the more lovable they are. So I said, I told my mom, all these years, I'm thinking, you've been calling me ugly too. And she bursted out laughing. I said, oh my God. My mother's a comedian too. My mother's a comedian too. Look at this. Wow. So from that point on, I started slicking my hair back. What? I started wearing a do-rag. What? So okay, cut it out, guys. I'm saying goodnight now for sure. Okay, are you guys ready?
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you, D, for coming aboard. Thank you, Professor, as always. The support is phenomenal, unbelievable, incredible. And I can't wait to soap up. So as soon as that soap is ready, you put that thing out there, okay? You already said you're going to put it out in what? In the other channel, right? Okay. Okay. All right, everybody. All right, this is it, all right? This is it. Ready? All right.
Ready.
Okay, this is it. All right, bye. All right. You guys are still here? This is it.
Okay. Okay.